Okay, welcome back. So we're going to answer this question now. Hopefully you had a go at it in the previous video. So we want the two best answers on unethical behavior in software development using Scrum. So what did we have? We had a development team mid-sprint reusing or refusing to add work to the sprint backlog. Well, I think when it comes to that one, refusing to add work mid-sprint, it's consistent with Scrum's principles of maintaining focus and stability during a sprint. It's not unethical, and it actually aligns with the best practices of Scrum. The thing is, a development team, or we say developers now, development team is the old terminology that's not to be used anymore. So the developers refusing to add work mid-sprint, if the thing is, you've got to aim for the sprint goal, and that sprint goal is set out with the team at sprint planning at the start of the sprint. So the work that is pulled in needs to align with that sprint goal. So firstly, if there's any work that's been asked of the developers that doesn't align with that sprint goal, then it shouldn't be pulled in anyway. If it is aligning with the sprint goal, then it's more of a problem for commitment to the sprint goal. So we don't have enough information about what kind of work and tasks are being refused to be brought in. But what I will say is, if the developers are under pressure to bring more work in, and that's going to add to their workload and going to jeopardize the sprint goal, then that's a bad thing. And also, it's the developers are the ones that manage the sprint backlog. So it's up to them if they should bring in work or not, and if they can manage that work. The aim is less about getting certain tasks and done in the sprint backlog, and more about just reaching that sprint goal and achieving that sprint goal. And that is up to the developers to decide how they or what work needs to be done to achieve that sprint goal. Okay, so for B, a product owner not ordering the product backlog by highest value or priority. Well, the product owner should be doing that. So a product owner not ordering it by highest value or priority is wrong. However, the product owner must also make the product owner should also take into account dependencies as well. So it's about highest value and prioritizing, but dependencies always also factor into it, because sometimes it might be a high value, but you just can't get onto it for a number of reasons of getting some messages. I'll just close those off. Which is distracting me. So yeah, sometimes the highest value ticket might need to be delayed a little bit because of dependencies, and other work needs to be done before you can move on to that ticket. But then that other work needs to be a priority because it's blocking a higher priority backlog item, if you see what I mean. But on the face of it, a product owner not ordering the product backlog by highest value or priority, as long as there isn't a valuable, justifiable reason for that, then that seems wrong. Okay, C, a Scrum team committing to a deadline when many unknowns exist. So for that one, committing to a deadline, the thing is, in complex work, there's always unknowns. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the game, isn't it? It's why we're using Scrum. So ideally, there won't be any unknowns, but there's always going to be some. So they're going to have to commit to the sprint goal despite unknowns, and that's always going to be the case. So it's not an ideal situation, but it is a pragmatic decision in complex environments. The team should be cautious about and still review and adapt, or inspect and adapt to new information as it emerges. This is the nature of the game when it comes to Scrum, but unfortunately there's always going to be unknowns, so I don't think that one's incorrect. D, or unethical should I say. D, a Scrum team using Kanban to visualize the cycle time of their work and impose work in progress limits. Well, again, this is the nature of Scrum, to limit work in progress. We want to be focused, and we do it in a cyclic nature, in a sprint nature. We have a time boxed amount of time, a sprint, we have a goal, we focus on that, and we try to achieve that goal and inspect it at the sprint review and then move on. So this is all about trying to limit work in progress. That's the point of it. The problem is when you get lots of work in progress, everything gets overwhelming. You don't finish anything. Everything gets messy. You end up context switching between many different things. You end up firefighting. So you really do want to limit work in progress. And using a Kanban board is absolutely fine. You might not, I mean, the Scrum board with in progress and done and to do. I mean, the Kanban board, you bring out more columns, but as long as it's a work management tool, it doesn't say in the Scrum guide what type of work management tool to use, what type of board to use, what type of columns to use. That's up to you. That's as long as you use the Scrum framework around it. So using the Kanban to visualize workflows and manage work in progress limits is valid practice that complements Scrum, promoting transparency and efficiency. It's not unethical. Okay, and a development team releasing software that potentially exposes customer data. Unethical, like immediately. So E is definitely one of them. I'll finish it off. Because the product owner and stakeholders estimate the organizational risk. Because the product owner and stakeholders estimate the organizational risk of not releasing to be far greater. Okay, yeah, so they've made a decision there that the organizational risk would be greater to if they didn't release it than if they did actually release customer data, or something that potentially exposes customer data. So this is unethical. They're taking the organization over the individual customer's safety of their data. So I don't think I need to say much more about that one. That's clearly wrong. Okay, so let's have a look again at B. A product owner not ordering the product backlog by its highest value or priority. So this undermines Scrum's commitment to delivering maximum value to the customer and organization. The product backlog must be prioritized based on value, urgency, and other factors to ensure that the team focuses on delivering the most impactful work. I'd say the other factors are dependencies there as well. Now, that's it. B, I think in the terms of the best answers for which are unethical, B is one of them. And E is certainly one of them. Because the thing is with B, though, is just that all else being equal, you obviously want to be prioritizing by value and priority. But there's also the dependency question as well, which might change the priority order. But the product backlog should be ordered by value to the users and the customer and the stakeholders. So B, I think, is the correct one with that one. So let me know in the comments if you've got any other take on these answers, and I'll have a look at the comments. Or if you think I'm right, let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this where I explain the answers to Scrum certification questions to help you with your certifications, then subscribe to my channel, have a look back on this playlist, and check out my courses on Udemy under Michael James and on learnmanagementonline.com. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.